Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Thank you for joining from wherever you are. I hope you're having a good Saturday or Sunday or Friday. I don't even know. But I hope you're doing well, inshallah. This is our last webinar before crowdfunding closes. So, all of you, mashallah, are in the best space right now to ask your questions, hear about Musaffa's story directly from our co founder and CEO and our CLO and General Counsel, Brother Renat. So you guys gave a lot of great questions. Please feel empowered to ask questions in the chat. Please let us know where you're joining the webinar from. And yes, please feel empowered to ask as many questions as you want in the chat. You have us live, so this is the best place to get them answered. But there were a lot of pre-filled out questions that we'll be going through as well. So each webinar, actually, feedback that we even get afterwards is people love Dulshadaka's opening piece about Musaffa's story. And a lot of times people feel comfortable and get that confidence in investment once they hear about the journey, the man behind the journey, but also what does it mean to invest? And what does it mean to invest right now? Why is it important to invest at this current moment? So, Dushdaka, if you can just share a little bit about, what led you to founding Musaffa, and I mean, I can ask more investment related questions, but maybe we can just hear your story first.
Yeah, I think that's Assalamu alaikum for everyone to joining. Yeah, we tell this story over and over to new people, but every time it gets better. Alhamdulillah. I think the story matters because, as I said, people, especially in our case, like our Muslim audience, right? They do invest not just in a company, in the mission and the vision and the leadership and the management. So it's very important to hear I believe, the story behind Musaffa. So So let me get started, inshallah. Maybe another like 5, 10 minutes. Maybe I'll talk about more with Musafa and the background, and then we can start Q&A because I'm pretty sure a lot of people, alhamdulillah. Again, I want to really thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule and joining the meeting. Okay, let's get started. So alhamdulillah, my name is Dilshad. I'm the co-founder of the company for the past, 4.5, 5 years ago, we started the company. And I came to US from Uzbekistan 23 years ago. I cannot believe it's been over 23 years actually. So back then, when I came out, I was a student and I started school at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. And one of the reason I got to university, actually, I wrote a piece today, very, very inspiring story. I decided to write about meeting Warren Buffett, how meeting him with him and talking to him and led me to give this idea of actually launching a global platform one day. So while I was in school, Alhamdulillah, I had this kind of challenge, and this challenge is, I think, universal when it comes to most all Muslims around the world. So when I start, finance has been always my passion. And sometimes at the university, some people say in the second, third year, they still have undecided. I couldn't understand how you can be undecided, because I never had that in my mind. From the time I remember, it's always been finance. So Alhamdulillah, I came here. One of the days I was listening to actually interesting story that I was reading a lot about investments, financing, specifically investments. And I was reading, actually listening on the CD as well about University of Tennessee in Knoxville actually is one of the favorite schools of Warren Buffett, and he invites from the best students like every year to his office. So when I heard that, I said, well, I'm gonna go and see him because he's the best in investments, right? So to that, I got accepted to University of Tennessee, Knoxville with the scholarship, and Alhamdulillah, I graduated as a top university student, and I co-founded University of Tennessee Investment Group. Like a club, but it got bigger. It has over 300 members now. So Alhamdulillah, with that, I was able to see Warren Buffett in Omaha, and he gave a very inspiring speech. After that, I came back, I started like actually working for equity research company. It was my passion. I was analyzing thousands of stocks. At that time, I felt the pain as a Muslim, as I keep repeating over and over. As Muslim, we care about our investments. We care about the food, especially we eat is halal. I live in US. Most of the people might live in the US. Some of the Muslim country living people are very lucky they don't have to. But here in the United States or Canada, if you want to eat something halal, we have to usually drive like half an hour somewhere, right? So we always, like, wherever we go, the first thing we look is like halal restaurant near me. That's the first thing that goes because you have your children with you. You want to make sure we eat halal. But when it comes to investments, well, unfortunately, we don't pay, unfortunately, that kind of same kind of attention. Our investments, like our 401ks, for example, in US, or any kind of investment that we have, is usually but invest with the riba. We're not even like paying too much attention. And with that kind of pain, I realized back then that, we need a solution. And Alhamdulillah, I had that kind of vision to start something, a company. I was very passionate, especially after meeting with Warren Buffett, because, he said he's not a Muslim, but what he said was really struck. He said that, one thing he said definitely was amazing. He said, I have all the money in the world. I can bring the best builders to Omaha. We can build the best pyramids in the world. It's going to be better than Egypt's pyramids with the money I have. But he says, but so what? Who's gonna benefit? Nobody. So my money is not my money. It's completely society's money. I didn't even touch it. All the stocks that I have from Berkshire Hathaway locked in a safe. I never seen it since 1960s, and I'm just giving it back to community. And he just drives a used car. Especially after the meeting we had, we went to lunch, and then he just got on an old car, and started driving himself, and he was worth 50 billion at the time. That's when I realized it's not about the money; it's about giving back to community. So anyway, so that was the intention. Then I was gonna start a company. I was young, passionate. Passion is, I think, it's a must. It's a prerequisite for starting anything, especially a company and with a strong vision. And then I realized, well, I'm passionate, but I don't have enough knowledge and I don't have enough experience. I don't have enough money. So that took a while. I said, let me go get those, be patient. So Alhamdulillah, I moved to Wells Fargo Securities, where I launched actually right in the middle of finance and technology. That's why fintech, financial technology. And I worked almost 8 years by helping building multiple trading platforms and one of the top investment banks in the world, the top four banks in US. So investment securities side of it, not just the bank, but investment securities, specifically with the capital markets. So Alhamdulillah, over 8 years. In the meantime, I didn't waste time. I did my MBA from University of Illinois, Urban Champaign, the top, I believe the last time I checked, one of the top technology universities, top five maybe in US. So Alhamdulillah, I did my data science. It was actually concentrated on data science and finance, MBA. And then I also did my chartered financial analyst. That's considered the highest designation in finance. I, on average, was studying almost 4 hours a day for 3 years. It was intense, and I had to go through over 15,000 pages of finance. So Alhamdulillah, I was received that. I think the pass rate is about 6% or 7% or. But I got that. But my purpose was not go and get the CFA designation, get the degree, and go somewhere and get a nice job. It never been my intention. It's always been Musaffa. And then now I have the experience, now I have the knowledge. Of course, the other important part is the money. So what I did was for the 5 years, I was saving for almost like, I think it was like $2,000, whatever paycheck I make with my wife, my child at the time. So I would put $2,000 on the side and I would just pay myself first. And that's how I end up saving around like 150,000 dollars. And I said, Bismillah, and start the company by myself at the time. And now we have over 85 people, I think, it's 80, 85. Alhamdulillah, we are just expanding, we're hiring. So and then I had this. So when I started, I realized I didn't have enough. Even the $150,000 gone. Because if you spend in US, you're gonna hire two developers. It's gonna be gone. So we started outside of US, build a team. Alhamdulillah, it was quite efficient and had a lot of barakah. But I ended up investing another 100,000. So I ended up investing 250,000 of my hard-earned money. That included my 401k cashed out completely. My car, second car, I had a Honda Accord 2014. I sold it. And then I also sold my apartment overseas that I said, well, it's overseas. I don't live there. So let me sell it and actually, invest. So I also, on top of that, the most sensitive part, my parents been with me in US for the past 14, 15 years. They also cashed out and invest all their 401ks. So Alhamdulillah. So with that, it's been a blessing. I would say it's been extremely like challenging in a way that rewardingly challenging, and Alhamdulillah. And the first investor who came in less than 3 years ago, I can share in shortly that he took a leap of faith, and that was the first investor ever. He invested $200,000, And of course, we manage it efficiently, alhamdulillah. That money, right now, it was at 25 cents per share. Back then, now we are at $2 a share. So that his investment, based on our today's stock price, went up 8 times to 1.6 million. So why? Because that's what happens growth companies if you make it right. So alhamdulillah, we're not startup anymore. We're almost 5 years old. We are at the early growth stage. Our platform became number one platform in the world when it comes to halal investment research. And alhamdulillah, we have close to 530,000 people. And the best part of it is the people are coming from 200 plus countries. So every time I repeat that, our platform represents more countries than United Nations, alhamdulillah. So it can be the best part of it. It's not about the company. It's about Muslims are all over. They're coming. They're uniting under one roof, under one mission. That's what drives us. Every single person, Musaffa, they joined, even though most people, especially senior people, they took cuts from their salaries from previous jobs, and they just joined just because of the vision and the mission. And they said, you know what, this is where we belong. And we are so proud to be Muslims in our company. And all our emails start with Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. And this is something that we've been missing, especially in Western countries. So Alhamdulillah. So anyway, the companies right now is growing, and we can get to Q&A right now. I just want to give a little bit feedback. But in the meantime, Brother Akram from Wahid Invest, he was actually the first hire, like Chief Operating Officer. He also joined us, and we have several people come from Wahid, and people are coming, hearing about us, and they're applying. Alhamdulillah, when we post jobs, we sometimes we get like thousands of resumes, literally, and now we go over one by one, and now we're expanding our team. And when it comes to investment, just quickly, yeah, Alhamdulillah, we've been blessed. We have a good, very good problem to have. Investments are coming all around the world, non-stop. We have, Alhamdulillah, right now about 11,000 people showed interest investing. It's just keep coming. But the challenge being we have to get online, and that's why I was doing it myself first, and then I couldn't handle because and then we set up an investor relations team. We have a whole department, and we have like 6 people working right now, reaching out, explaining the vision and mission, business model, and everything, alhamdulillah. And in a way that we, even though we are a private company, but I'll share the documentation shortly, but in a way that we are going, since we're receiving the public money, our transparency is becoming more like a public company. Like we are required to have annual reports, audit annual reports. And for the last 3 years, it's posted online. Anybody can see. And everything is extremely transparent about the company. And on top of that, we are proud to be transparent because just not other than being ethical company, first of all, we are a Muslim company. So we have to be transparent. And every penny that we take from investors, we consider honor. As I said, the management, including myself, we have a huge stake in the company. Like if we have a huge skin in the game in the company, so that we work day and night to make sure that it works. And the best part is again, all our investors, 100% is community backed. We didn't have to like, even though we were at the beginning, I was thinking about getting a VC money because that's been the case always. Oh, you want to, you have to get institutional money. Everybody wants to get approval of the institutional money. Now Alhamdulillah, they're coming after us, and we are telling them, thank you. We have our community who can support us. So that the reason we do that, actually, we don't want to compromise our vision and mission. We want to stay very true to ourselves, and we don't want to get into politics of saying something. For example, some VCs might come and they want to change a culture, and we are proud of being Muslim, and we held our heads high. We don't have any dependence from outside investors who come and actually try to change the culture. But Alhamdulillah, all our investors are purely like community, including one of the big investors, Nabil Fakir, and one of his relatives actually was our platform user. And amazingly, instead of raising fund VC, I decided to write an email to our user base saying that, look, we're building this platform, we need your help. Will you support us? They came, Alhamdulillah, and then back to back, back to back. For example, Nabil Fakil, he World Cup champion from soccer, from like football World Cup champion from France, and he investing over $500,000. Also became our ambassador. Now he's promoting Musaffa to the world. He's taking like videos and everything, so it's been really cool. Anyway, I think further ado, I want to go ahead and start the Q&A.
Shadika, there was a really good question that we usually have those questions and we answered multiple times. I thought that we could quickly, even briefly, to cover that. without going too much of detail. But then also Sister Nusrat may give us more questions. I thought that would be really good to answer. And the question is coming from Brother Zak or Sister Zak. I don't know. I don't want to make a mistake, but the question is: Have you raised funds through venture capital, or was it solely through crowdfunding? I know that this is a very interesting question. It usually comes up, so that's interesting. Do you want me to start, or you want to pick up this one
You
yours?
can go ahead and start.
Yeah. So, and then if I miss anything, please go ahead and chime in. So basically, to answer this question, which usually comes up, why we or do we raise only from crowdfunding or do we raise from VCs? Because the investment world as a practice has become that the startups go and then be funded by VC, right? It's like become a norm. But unfortunately, not all the companies are successful and then they can go to VCs, right? So then this world appeared where what if the people who support the companies, they're fun, they have huge fund base and they don't want to sacrifice their mission and vision and value due to being invested by the VCs where they have a lot of impact and influence. The companies who started looking for the community based investment, right? Community support. So this from multiple jurisdictions, including U.S., which was the actually pioneer, the first one who adopted this regulation during the Obama time. It was signed in 2012 and then went into law in 2016. The law came into about the crowdfunding regulation, CF it's called for short. It's a crowdfunding, which allows the companies to raise funds, limited amount, of course, from its own community, right? To grow to the to the level that it is supported by its community. So that's why Musaffa went, I would say, crowdfunding level. Crowdfunding, of course, there are multiple angel investors, as the Shad brother mentioned about Nabil Fakir and some others who invested in the company. But mainly, we're exceedingly community focused company, right? We want to be supported because, of course, all various reasons. Muslims want the funds coming from the pure sources. And we know that if our community is supporting us, who are like regular people like you and on this webinar and myself and Brother Tushar, who we know that they're true Muslims who want to invest and then they invest with their own sweat money, right? So that they worked hard and to accumulate. So we understand that value of that, and actually barakah of that investment is actually higher than any VC money, but which we don't know where the sources are coming, right? What are these sources? And especially Musaffa has put the goal not to get any loans because we want to stay Sharia compliant, right? And in the whole history, you can look at our audits and everything that we never took any loan from the bank and we never bared any interest, right? So that is the goal. Musaffa had always intention to be with the community. That's what we intended. But about the VCs separately, there's no intention to rejecting them, and we have lots of them who are reaching out, who wants to work with us, who wants to invest. But again, we are prioritizing our community, right? If we're prioritizing our community, engaging into that conversations is right now is not our priority. So that's why they're I would say lining up, to be honest. But we prefer our community and then to grow with them and then keep our investment compliant with the Sharia laws. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Let me add something to that, very important, because this is a strategic decision that we took. And when I was at the beginning, as anybody else, as a founder, I was like looking at the VCs. Okay, should we get the money VCs? And one of the brothers from New York who works in finance, and he gave me a good idea. He said, "Why are you trying to go VCs? You have a whole Muslim community, and you know what? You have a product they're passionate for, they're looking for, they understand. It's not a complicated like medical equipment, for example, that I have to explain. It is a halal investing through stocks. That's simple." And I said, if you do community round like equity crowdfunding, they'll come and back you up because you have a passion project. I said, well, that's an interesting idea. Let me try. So I bought even though I've been in finance for 20 years, I never really knew about equity crowdfunding. So I bought a book, I read it, I loved it. I love that because again, with the right now, more and more companies going through equity crowdfunding if they have a strong community. Even I think the Green Bay Packers, right? They raise millions from their fans because when you have a fan base, you go directly to the source. Because going to VC, what's the purpose? You get the money from VC. Once you accomplish, you go by the public again. That's why they call it IPO, going initial public offering. You go to IPO so that right now we have an option to skip VCs if you want to. Now court is on the ball is on our side, right? So that's why the VC see it, alhamdulillah. Why are they coming after us right now? I have so many, literally, when I said I don't want to sound disrespectful, but my my email box it gets full about the from VCs, from angels, from this. Alhamdulillah. Why? Because they're saying we are ranked number two Islamic fintech in US right now. Officially ranked by Salam Gateway, independently by Islamic Finance News from Malaysia. Number two Islamic fintech in US, number 10 in the world. And there are some companies who raise literally millions and millions, hundreds of millions. We still ranking higher with $4 million that we already raised. We rank because number one, of course, it's barakah, very hard work, people working, and most people they work actually for minimum bare salary, and that's the first condition. If anybody want to join Musaffa, that's what I say. We don't pay much, we barely pay enough, but then you can get some equity in the company. You can give your life and time to Musaffa, and they're joining in packs. Alhamdulillah, very qualified people. Alhamdulillah, that's why we're succeeding because people have senior management have their stake in the company. It's barakah, and the most importantly, the market we are in, because I can share something really quickly. I think going forward I will have to share this because it shows that the true nature of our market, why Musafa is being quite successful compared to our competitors or some other companies, right? So if you don't mind, I'm gonna share quickly. This is a pitch deck we put together very nicely, and this page I want to share. I think we should share it more often going forward. So let me go ahead and slideshow. If you look at this, this is the problem and this is the solution. And this is, by the way, we have developed internally. I said, you know what? Let's do research. Because most of the stuff at Musafa we do, we are very proud to say that we're pioneers. We don't go copies from someone, we just develop ourselves, we work. Alhamdulillah. For example, if you look at this chart, it shows our Muslims pain point. So what's happening around the world about there's $430 trillion liquid asset class. Liquid means something you can buy and sell right on the spot. If you buy a house, you cannot sell it, it's not liquid. So liquid means you can buy. If you go IPO, your stock becomes liquid. So liquid, if you look at here, let's start with the money market fund and total deposit, not Sharia compliant. You cannot put in a bank and get CD, certificate deposit, get 3% fixed rate. It's not Sharia compliant. You can, crypto is still like debatable. There's even Sharia scholars, they say, yes, no, it's not clear. So we have derivatives about $17 trillion. That's not the notional amount. This is the gross market value is about 17 trillion. Again, market fluctuates day to day. It's like approximate. And you have a fixed income. It's a huge market. Look at this, $148 trillion with the T, not billion, trillion. That's like almost 33, one third of the all liquid asset class in the world. That's fixed income. That's completely non-Sharia compliant, right? You cannot have a fixed income. You cannot go and say, I want to buy a bond. I want for $1,000. I'm gonna have a 5% guaranteed return. That's not Sharia compliant. So if you look at the stocks, it's about maybe 130 trillion somewhere plus minus. Out of that 19 trillion, I think it's 122 trillion. I would say about 19, like 89, 69. So this is not Sharia compliant. So if you look at the stock world, like you can buy Apple, Google stocks, about only about 7.16 or a little bit over 7% of something that Muslim can invest. Imagine as a Muslim, just since you're a Muslim, you don't have, if you want to play by the rule and if you want to make sure that you invest aligned with your faith, you have only access to about 7% of the liquid asset classes. And that's still like $32 trillion, which is huge. And this is still like Muslim not using it. So the reason Musaffa is really growing fast because we are giving to Muslims all around the world, regardless their culture, regardless their language, right? Inshallah. So everybody can access to our platform. That's why our platform has grown to 530,000 people right now in the past 4 years. And again, from every single country you can imagine. Why? Because to get to $30 trillion, they have to go through Musaffa. Musaffa through us or through a company like us. But in our case, Alhamdulillah, we are already market leaders. But now we need to really, really scale up. So let me ask for some of the questions. I just want to show this one. I think it's very important. The question was again, why VCs? Again, the good news, we already have several VCs from starting from Saudi through Qatar, through US. They are showed interest. Even like they came to my office, they even gave me a questionnaire. They even sit down with me for a questionnaire. I said, I don't have time. I have like we have 11,000 people reached out to us right now, or over 11,000 Muslims all around the world. I want to invest. And when we talk to them, Alhamdulillah, they're coming and supporting from $1,000 all the way to like $1 million, right? Usually it's like 10, 15, 20,000. So people are coming. Why? So the reason that we decide to take the money from, again, we have even like higher fiduciary duties. And on top of that, as the CEO of the company, like for the 4.5 years, I literally don't remember taking a real one day off. I work all the time, even Saturday, Sunday. Why? Because again, I feel extreme fiduciary duty. And on top of that, half of the companies I own it. So I have like every single aspect, I have best interest of Mustafa, right? So again, right now VCs are coming in, but really we don't have time because we have so many people. I was talking myself and Alhamdulillah then reached out to like we have 6 people right now and the investor relations team, and now they're closing the deals. If you see the bar, I think the next question would be like a $4 million and stuff. 4 million, just we open it. It's not that we need it right now. The best thing about crowdfunding, we can raise the money whenever we want it. Like when you go VCs, you can get too much money and then you dilute too much, and then they don't give you money on the same spot. They put milestones, which is not a bad thing, but again at the same time, but you have to liquidate. It's gonna hurt your previous investors. So instead, the what gives us crowdfunding gives us some. In Toyota used to have something called just in time. I think that they revolutionized at the time the auto industry with just in time, which means like they produce the part as needed. So we are also doing it just in time. We don't have to have a millions and millions of dollars in the bank. No, we raise it when we need it. So that in that case, it's better because raising is almost guaranteed. Because raising is through crowdfunding, we get again 11,000 people. When we do marketing, alhamdulillah, tons of people come. And again, VCs have their own place. We will get VC money, most likely, but that will have to be in our own terms, which means like no compromise on value, non-compromise on vision, no compromise on mission. For example, like right now, the one thing I want to proudly show, we are not just a platform, because I think I should start from there. This is when somebody asks what Musaffa does. Musaffa is developing an ecosystem, Sharia compliant ecosystem. It's not a platform, it's not just a company, it's ecosystem. Why do I mean by that? What do I mean? So when you type musaffa.com, the final vision and the goal is peace of mind for Muslims around the world. That's it. What do I mean? When you type musaffa.com, you have built your trust in Musaffa. You say, all my investments are halal, Sharia compliant. I'm doing my part. I'm giving my charity. I'm giving my zakat. I'm investing halal way. I'm doing all that. Musaffa.com. So this is the dream. This is our vision. What do I mean by that? We're building ecosystem right now. The first step, I think it's in our actually let me share quickly because it will come to that. I think it's better to know that. So if you go investmusaffa.com right now, sorry. So here we have if you go all the way down, this is where it said, okay, the Muslims, all the problem I discussed above, right? We cannot invest in the stock. This is a 7%. So here's the thing. We are building increasing Islamic finance knowledge with the Musaffa Academy. Musaffa Academy, even though we're posting blogs over time, if you look at here, if you type Musaffa feed spot. So it lists about 15 companies, but Musaffa is ranked right now number 4 in the world when it comes to Islamic finance education. And we don't even have, it's not a separate company, it's just one of the small project that Musaffa has. And now we're raising funds to scale it up. So your money will also be helping, inshallah, teaching millions of Muslims about financial education. So Musaffa Academy, if you look at here, It says in here, the best Islamic finance list curated from thousands of RSS feeds on the web and ranked by relevancy, authority, social media followers, and freshness. So it's just the one place we could find Musaffa was ranked academy. So Musaffa Academy is important. Again, why we want to invest in the academy? Because we believe that this academy will be also at the same time, even though it's free at this stage, it will be revenue generator for us. As an investor, you should know that because people come in, we educate them, and then imagine like their loyalty, what it's going to be. They understand they learn finance from Musaffa, then most likely they will be a lifetime customer, right? So Musaffa Academy is very important part of it. And the second part, again, stock, investing stocks, finding halal stocks, ETFs at this stage. This is a liquid asset. Inshallah, later on, we can come up with we can add sukuk, which is Islamic bonds. We can add, inshallah, gold, silver, as long as it's Sharia compliant. The platform, inshallah, will have that. So right now, finding halal stocks, ETFs globally, and performing fundamental research is extremely important. And this is where actually my passion also lies. As I said, other than being reading like tons of books about value investing, getting my CFA, I used to be equity research analyst. I did it for a living. I love it. So fundamental research, what it means. Let's say the Sharia compliant side, we say that some stock is halal or Sharia compliant. What does it mean? It means Sharia compliant. That's all it means. It doesn't mean it's a profitable company. It might be a very bad investment. So now you have Sharia compliance is a very big important criteria. The next step, you have to do fundamental research. You need to find if the company is good or bad. Is it worth it to invest in the company? So fundamental research is coming right now, inshallah. Musaffa is building it. The next part, like we are also building our own trading platform where you don't have to go Robinhood, Charles Schwab, everything in one spot. You buy and sell. We already doing it to some extent. Right now, we linked about over 1,500 institutions through our platform already. If you look at here, you will see that already over the 4,300 people paid membership fee. Sorry about that. So they paid membership fee and then they linked over $100 million assets. This is real money that they have in their banks. So people are coming right now all around the world, especially United States and Canada, where we have more than 1,500 institutions that link to Musaffa. So now they can come and they can see, for example, like I can even show you very quickly. They can come and they can integrate their portfolios. Like here, as you see, my Robinhood account is linked right now. So as soon as I link it, I can see what portion of my portfolio is Sharia compliant. And maybe, now we are helping them to stay Sharia compliant, but they have to pay minimal fee for Musaffa and that's subscription. So if you look at the holdings now, let's say at Robinhood brokerage, I have like this many stocks. Now I know, oh, I didn't know, oh, McDonald's one's on halal. Oh, what's Intuitive Surgical is not Sharia compliant. Wow, I didn't know that. So why is not? So now even though Sharia compliant stock, we give a ratings like Moody's does, like S&P does, like C minus to A plus, because Sharia compliant doesn't mean everybody's equal. And we really explain that what it means. C minus means, if you look at C minus, for example, if I go Sharia compliance here right now, right? Every single stock that I have, for example, like Advanced Micro Device, 95.61% of the revenue they make is Sharia compliant. Still, they have a little bit doubtful about 3.51 and 0.88. So if I invest in this company, there's a condition. First of all, that's why it got C, because by following AOFA methodology that we follow, it says not at least if the 95% or less is Sharia compliant, you cannot invest. So at least minimum you have to have 95% revenue has to be Sharia compliant, which means like should be from core operations, should be from good sources, right? So, but the rest, let's say that if I invest in this company right now, I make $100 profit. The question becomes, can I keep $100 profit? No, I can only keep like $95.61. But this doubtful non-halal portion automatically has to go to charity. That's called purification process. And I can assure you almost nobody does it. And they don't know it. So we're teaching them. And once they know that, they're going to come because this is something they can impossible to calculate manually every time. And especially if you have a lot of stocks, right? So for this stock, you can invest and you can invest. For example, even the stock at A, why? Because the revenue is 98, almost 99% Sharia compliant, right? So that's why it got a high rating. So even we comply, even the halal stocks, we do ratings. So on top of that, you can also do transactions, diversifications. You can do more and portfolio analytics, like looking at the different parts of the These are called one of the important things we have. But the good thing about it is like we are building our own trading platform right now. This integration is working. More than 4,000 people, over 100 different countries came and made the payment, become a premium subscribers to use our services right now. And our rating, alhamdulillah, I can very proudly say, which has not been easy because we have to work extremely hard towards it. But if you look at our rating all the way, look at the rating that we have Google Play all around the world. We got 4.8 out of 7,360. Like, so if you look at the here, this is our rating over 7,000 people. If you go, for example, like Apple also, we got similar rating, but we recently started promoting on the app, but it's like 4.8, even though it's a 214 ratings. So it's consistent both platforms because user base is coming and usually we get overwhelmingly positive feedback, alhamdulillah. Why? Because we are one of the most transparent company in the world. I would say I mean it because we know the competition, we've learned it, alhamdulillah, and we're going fast. And you know what the best part of it? We built this with $4 million, and it's a miracle because in US, 4 million, you cannot build a company, especially like becoming a number one platform in the world in what we do. And as I was saying here, if you go home, you will see that we have analyzed over 114,000 stocks. That's like almost complete global coverage. We have about 24 analysts right now. They work 6 days a week, and each company has to go through 3 different analysts before being published, right? This is why we are proudly saying we became number one website in the world when it comes to halal investment research. And okay, we can do a Q&A. I know I got a little bit deviated because I think this question will be asked. Most likely we are having experience, so we want to answer before you ask. What is Musaffa? Why should I invest in Musaffa, right? This is the question. Again, to coming back to question, alhamdulillah, VCs are coming after us. We have, for example, one VC, Clearwater. That was 2 years ago. That was even like recently. I'm talking about the very first. I know, it was, I think, Good Capital or something from Los Angeles. They reached out to us. They said, you guys do an amazing thing. This is a really good idea. We are seeing in next to Robinhood for Muslims in vision and the mission in direction. That's a big deal. That VC is about managing $4 billion. And alhamdulillah, recently, for example, New York, they're coming to us, but we are putting them on hold. And right now, they asked for a pitch deck so many times. We have even signed NDAs. I really didn't get a chance to sit down because I'm extremely busy with the community right now. So we're talking, we're doing webinars. It is a harder way, but again, at the same time, I'm gonna sleep at night because if somebody invests $1,000, 5,000, 10,000, I know that money comes from hard-earned money. I know it comes from paycheck to paycheck. You know how I know? Because my money was paycheck to paycheck saved. I'm not a VC guy. I came from like, no, actually, I wrote a story. When I come to the United States, I was delivering pizzas at night. I built, like, I saved, I learned, alhamdulillah, Allah's permission, right? So we built this one. Now I want to make sure that this company serves people like me, people like regular people. If somebody invests $5,000, if we can bring their money to, inshallah, there is always a risk, but we have intention is pure. If we can help that like 10,000, 20, 40, 50,000, that money is going to make a difference in that person's life versus like getting a VC money $10 million and make them another $20 million, right? For them, it's just a number. So we are very mission driven, very, very close to community. That's why one of the questions they asked, I think I saw that question before we go forward. If you go to musaffa.com, why am I being so proud, alhamdulillah, with the companies and transparency? You go here, you click on something called offering circular, Investor Musaffa. This is where you see we are, even though we are a private company, we are transparent as much as a public company. If you look at here, we had to file a documentation with the United States Exchange Commission. This is where Apple, Google, Tesla files, right, to get investments, and they get billions and billions of dollars from the public. But we had to file almost, again, I'm not claiming we are a public company again, but we are transparent. And if you look at here, I've analyzed stocks for a living. I've seen the public companies, some of them, they don't have 60 pages of information, any reports, but it's about 60 pages. It's very, very detailed. And I've seen the question, how are you going to use my money? How do I know my money is working for the company, not for other means? No, here we are very transparent. As I said that, by the way, one thing is extremely important. This is a director, officer, manager, and key persons. That's including me, including Renat, which is chief legal officer, right? And we have chief operating officer. we had to go background check through government side, because if you want to start a company, you want to take a VC money, or you want to take money from $1 million from high net worth individuals, government doesn't get in the middle. They don't really, because they know they're sophisticated investors. But when it comes to raise money from the public, government says, you know, you want to take $1,000 from a school teacher, well, you have to follow the rules like the public companies. So we had to follow the rules. That's why I had to go through background check. Rina has to go background check, make sure that, you know, we can raise. And at the end, SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, in a way that they give us green light to raise funds. So if you look at here, it's very transparent. It talks about this form. It's called Form C, and this is where you will find 60 pages of information about the company. All the way, it has a risk. It's pages of risk, for risk related to the offering. So it's very transparent. So you can see all the risks and the most importantly, there's a business section right here. This is where we explain what we do, what's our plans. And this is very detailed. And you can see here what kind of market gaps we are addressing. And you can see, like, for example, this important part, global outlook and current offerings is very important. We offering Musaffa Academy, and then Halal Stock ETF screen, the fundamental research, SIMS portfolio. Right now we have it. What's upcoming features? Sharia compliant investment platform, inshallah. AI powered portfolio customization, proprietary Sharia compliant ETFs. So we are coming, and then we do have a product roadmap in here. But importantly, and I saw the question about how you're going to use us money. So we did calculation, and based on that, use of proceeds. Like the money is going to go into the company, into the development, product and software development, operations, key strategy hire, licensing and compliance to get the license as we grow, right? And then special product software development. For example, we pay our developers, they have families, we have to pay. So, and for example, they writing a code for purification tool. And that's going to serve. So your money, even if you pay for product and software development, that's actually developing a feature that serves Ummah. So, and also we can tell business development, you can read in detail and we tell you why it matters, why we spending money there, or very transparent product and software development, why it matters. Musaffa's platform is at the core of our value proposition. So we explain operations, key strategic hires, pages and pages of information. And this is where directors, and we can also list where I graduated, where the Rinat graduated. We can also see the 2 pages of executives, right? And also one of the best parts, when we say we raised $4 million, we're not making up numbers, or $5 million right now is coming. Why? Every single money we raise, we have to disclose it. And we are completely okay with it. As you see that this is the money we raise over time, and you can see exactly how we raise it. Mostly it was accredited investors at the beginning. For example, this person, first investor, raised under 506B. By the way, if anybody wants to invest larger amount, they can also come through 506B. And somebody asked about question about SPV. I'll answer in a minute. But this person invested $200,000 less than 3 years ago. Alhamdulillah, it was 25 cents share. But as we grow as a company, right now, almost 800,000 shares he got for that money. Now it's worth about $1.6 million. So that was 8 times his investment went up in about less than 3 years. 8 times. I think in any measure, it's a good return, very good return. And of course, the risk of the company is going down, right? Day by day. And the more it goes down, the value of the company is going to keep going up. I'll talk about a little bit about breaking even, what kind of revenue may be making right now. But our next 6 month to a year goal is to breaking even, which means like Musaffa's goal is to make sure that it pays all the expense from revenue. At that stage, when we hit it, it will definitely affect the valuation a lot. So the company's value, Allah knows how much the stock price is going to be at that stage. But anyway, you can see everything here. It's very transparent, and you can just access super easily. You just go investmusaffa.com, you click offer and circular. This is, I think this is something that we have to be very, very open going forward, because it's hidden in there for I don't know, this is how it was suggested by brokers, but I think we need to be more transparent in that. So when people know that 60-page information is disclosed, it's not a company that's trying to like actually raise startup money. We are mature, I wouldn't say mature, maturing over time. We are at the early growth stage, and that's why we believe it's a very good time to invest. And because in the last 4 years, we built a system. We figured out, we made mistakes. We figured it out. We rebuilt the platform. First time we did it, and second time we did a better job. right? Because this is how happens when the growing company. But right now we have a $4 million. We build a system. At least we can screen and research and everything about over 100,000 stocks. Now we can have a 4,000 people on the platform. That's coming over from 100 different countries. Again, what's beautiful about Musaffa, again, 500, almost 530,000 people. You can see that 529,000 people right now. That's coming from over 200 different countries. That's what the beautiful. That's why it sets apart. That's what the valuation is going to go up, inshallah. Why? Because we're completely global. Second thing, our investors are coming, over 800 people. Investments came from over 50 different countries. And also this over 4,000 people pay over 100 different countries. That shows we're just getting started. It's like we haven't even done 1% of the work yet. So when the scalability comes, for example, I'm talking about break even. Right now, 4,000 people paid. Next challenge we have, that's why we just hired the customer happiness manager, and we're expanding the team so we can reach out, explain it. For example, I explained to you guys about the purification tool, about this. Now you know it. Now you have to use it, Musaffa. It's not an option anymore. That's what's beautiful about it. Because when we explain to people, they don't have an option. They know they have to use it. It's not a luxury item. It's a must item if you want to be in the stock market. So now we're going to turn to customers. Now, inshallah, once we get to about 35 to 40,000 paying customers, we'll break even. The question comes, if you invest in Musaffa right now, if you're able to get 4,000 customers by now, do you think we're going to get to 40,000? I think that's a more relevant question, because it's not the MVP anymore. It's not an idea. It's a built system. And now it's about scaling. So we can have a 4,000 people on the platform or 400,000 people on the platform. Platform already built. And of course, it's getting improved. That's what happens with fintech. You build it, it takes 3, 4, 5 years, build it, and then you go scalability. Now why we're raising funds for scaling, that's why it's called growth round. So I think I answered the question, some question.
Yeah, can I quickly share one thing before we move on from here? Because there's a relevance to your point. The Shadika showed about the offering circular, which most people come with the questions that we're seeing on the chat. I thought I would go a little bit more in depth, because of people asking about our financial results, right? What we have done, like any revenue, so other aspects. Of course, all of this and comparison to our competitors. I actually shared with someone on the page 32, you can see the comparison to competitors. But people don't know, because they probably don't know that where they can search the information. When you come to this investmusaffa.com, actually you can get from our main platform to here too by clicking Invest Halal Now. If you click here, it will take you here basically. So this is the place where you can find all the information. But where this is filed is in the SEC's filings. So if you go to SEC's EDGAR filing and you go to our page, every company who does any filings with SEC, they have their own page on EDGAR. Even Tesla or Apple, I can search and show you. So this is where all the companies file officially, formally with the US government. It is that serious. So the company that Musaffa also does the same thing. So, and we're obligated, if we did 1 year of crowdfunding raising, we are obligated to file annual reports, which we did this year after last year crowdfunding. We filed today, and then you can go and find any of our financial reports, audited reports. Even large companies takes like 8-9 months to do the auditor report for the previous year, which we are obligated to do within 120 days, which we just finished in April, and we submitted. If you go here to documents, you will see all our financial statements filings. So you open any of them, for example, 2024, you will see anything that revenue or assets, anything the company does in detail. There's no secrets or whatever. When people ask me in questions in chat, you have such a visibility that usually is even rare in some of the public companies, to be honest, right? That we're that transparent. So you actually don't need to ask those questions. You go and then get as much information you want, right? So there's nothing like hidden about Musaffa. Musaffa has been transparent from the beginning in terms of the compliance. That's why we cherish it. We put the compliance and the law and the core of our business, that people feel safe, right? They don't even need to ask those questions. That's how we're going about and beyond about informing you when you're investing, so you can get and research about this information. I wanted to give this short addition to Shadika's statement, and if we can take any other questions.
Yeah, and I'm gonna answer Brother Majid question in a minute, but here's the thing. Most importantly is, again, when I say I met Warren Buffett, I read almost any book I can find about him, his investment philosophy. Benjamin Graham, value investing, Phil Fisher, John Templeton, right? All investment legends. So, for example, like Benjamin Graham, which is his teacher at the Columbia University, like he is considered the father of Wall Street. So he wrote a book, Intelligent Investor, most people probably heard. But my point, and Warren Buffett used to follow Benjamin Graham, and then he found about the Phil Fisher. The Phil Fisher was a completely different guy. Benjamin Graham would look at the financials only, never talk to management. But Phil Fisher would be like, go talk to management for 5 minutes, talk to the manager, and decide if he's going to invest or not. Big money. Phil Fisher, very popular person. So now Buffett attracted that one. He started talking to management now. So my point is this to you. Yes, this financials matter. Everything matters. But ask a question. Who's the founder? How much stake he has? What did he give up to build the company? So in my case, I have 100% skin in the game. I save. I told you it's super personal for me because I just not invest paycheck to paycheck. My 401k, my car, and most important, my parents' 401k included. And they also shareholder, by the way, in the company. So imagine that I have so much risk. On top of that, I own of the, like, Alhamdulillah, I can proudly say that I own like around half of the company right now. The rest investors own it. So again, that would be a more relevant question because at this stage, no matter what we say, it's about the believing in the leadership or management. That's a question. It boils down to this, Renat, at the end, because we are being extremely transparent. When we say transparent, oh, because SEC asks, no. Number one, we are Muslims. SEC is a government agency, but we know from our heart that every penny we use, we will be responsible in Akhirah. And this is something that we truly believe in as Muslims. And you know what? There's no way out of it. So this is one of the reasons, and here Rinat is our chief legal officer, extremely, I would say, everything I have to do, everything I have to post, it has to go through Rinat because he's like, should they care? We not expose our company to this kind of unnecessary risk. So always listening, trying to comply. So the point is like, that's what it is. Just want to mention it's more than just financial statements. So it's about the leadership, about the management. If you trust the management, you invest. If you don't trust, it doesn't matter what kind of financial record they have, right? So it's there. We are very transparent and we are proud to be Muslims. Second thing, the question was you're trying to raise $4 million. Is it an issue you cannot raise? Here's the beautiful part of it. That's why I think we'll change next time. We're not gonna put 4 million, we put 1 million or 2 million and we can raise really fast. You know why? Here's the thing. We have a good problem to have, Brother Majid. Very good problem to have. We have over 11,000 people showed interest to invest. 11,000 globally. Our pipeline is packed. We don't have time to call them. We have to do. The problem has been I start doing it myself. Like exactly. That's why we started webinars. I said, you know what? Let's bring all the people in. We just do it in 1 hour because I was spending time myself explaining the business because as a Muslim audience, we're not used to investments. Most people we talk to have never invested in their lives, but we're changing that. Again, that comes with education. That's the core of Musaffa. So when we get to them, Alhamdulillah, right now, 11,000 people showed interest and only 800 something invested. And we can open up the pipeline again. We're going to get another 10,000 people. People are coming packing packs because two reasons. First of all, there is not a lot of options out there for Sharia compliance, unfortunately. There is not. In the United States, how many companies raising funds Sharia compliant way? So in the second one, and that's also important. One is like there's a lot of demand, alhamdulillah, for our product or as an investment to our company. And second of all, again, the growth has been, alhamdulillah, has been amazing. There's a lot of demand. So coming back to your question, so we actually, I was overseas, I was in Dubai, came back to US in New York. We set up an actual team. We have a professional right now, professional investment relations team. We have 6 people full time working. What they do, they reach out and sit down and explain the business model to every single person who comes and we want to, even if they want to invest $1,000, I tell them, you know what, you gotta sit down and explain because this is our people. And we are passionate about something that I keep saying it over and over. We are Muslims, alhamdulillah. And if we don't come together, if we don't start trusting each other, if we don't unite, if we don't build our own system that serves Muslim values, nobody will come and build it for us. I realized that long time ago. This is one of the reasons I decided to start the company, you know. And as I said, I had 3 degrees. Alhamdulillah, I was working at one of the top banks, and I could have just, have a nice car, nice house, just, have vacations. Yeah, that was an option, but I didn't choose that. I chose, you know what? I'm gonna give back to my community because who's gonna do it? Allah gave us. Not everybody. I came from overseas myself. Not everybody comes to US. Not everybody graduates the top 1% in the world. Alhamdulillah, and then and get a chance, and there is going to be responsibility, I believe, in the Ahira, right? They're going to ask, okay, I gave you this much, what did you do? So now we decide to give it back. But all I ask, when we do webinars, I ask people, look, please support us if you can. If you don't want, it's fine. But who's gonna do it if we don't do it together? That's the thing. The mentality has to change, and we truly believe that we can educate Muslims around the world. That's why we start the company. It's more like, again, education, uplifting their life. It might sound a little bit dramatic. For example, like in Indonesia, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, and there is a person right now, maybe like poor child, but Musaffa, it doesn't give this kind of opportunity for that person to learn about that. Maybe that person is gonna be next Warren Buffett, right? Who knows? So they need to be given chance. We cannot just in the United States say, you know what, we are well taken care of. Who cares about the other part of the world, right? Well, that's not it. So Alhamdulillah, that's why we say it's mission driven. That's why we take the money. We want to make sure they care not just about the make money. They also care about the mission. They're proud that their money is working for the Ummah. And Alhamdulillah, that's why we started. Again, to answer your question, brother, we will reopen every time. What we decided to do, actually, it's working quite well. Every round, we only raise what we need just in time. So we don't need money. We are a very efficient company, alhamdulillah. We keep it low. Nobody gets paid like crazy here. So alhamdulillah, we keep it because we give equity. And you know what I tell anybody joins investor relations, anybody, look, you're gonna get the minimum pay, but you'll get some equity. How about that? And we need that people that who are passionate, who doesn't come and clock in, clock out. They work day and night, but you know what? They get equity. They become a part owner. So to answer your question, we reopen, but every time we reopen, most likely, again, we cannot guarantee the price of the share is going to go up, most likely, because depending on the company's performance. Last time we closed $1, it's actually this one $2. We're closing right now. So next round, we will reopen. Again, the reason with $4 million, it doesn't mean we need 4 million right away. We need the next 6 months. I'm just saying. So we just opened up, and the challenge is about reaching out and talking to people, because these are talking about the crowdfunding. It's called crowdfunding. And as you can see, but the people are coming. You see that 316 investors already came, 316 worldwide. It is taking a time. I tell our people, our team, that it takes time. You know what? Be patient. This is our community. Be patient. Sit down and explain the business. And you know what? After we get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 investors, we won't have to. People will come and invest without even asking, because they'll hear about us. Right now, we're still getting the name. And as somebody said, again, I talked a lot of passion about investments. Someone said I think it was John Temple, if I'm not mistaken, and it was like a candy, like Quaker or something. So somebody asked, why don't you invest in this company? It's very popular. He says, that's why I don't invest. It's very popular. So what means when we become very popular, stock price gonna be very popular, right? So that it's better to get into investment when the stock price is low, when the company is growing, and not a lot of people know about it. Because when they know about it, it's already late. This is when one thing that we also not going to VCs, because I've spent my lifetime in finance. I can tell you what, when companies, if there's a potential really good companies, VCs come in, they grab it, and they take it to IPO. And when they go IPO, the companies go IPO, then public comes in, regular people come in. But at that time, that the growth of the company is already gone to VCs. So for example, the VC comes right now $2 a share. Inshallah, let's say we go 20, 25, for $30 per share, they take it to public, and then regular people like you and me, they come and they buy, but the growth is gone already. The growth is gone to VCs. So this is one, they get richer. And that's one of the reasons, like, I'm not very passionate about the VCs, because I understand the underlying cause, what's happening. And of course, it doesn't mean we're not going to get VCs. We have, alhamdulillah, coming. I just showed you Musaffa Academy. What if the VCs comes in right now, they put a condition, they say, you know what? I don't want you to invest anything in Musaffa Academy. I'm going to say I have to yes, because I took their money. Well, no, Musaffa Academy is our passion. This is where we're going to educate millions of Muslims. And maybe VC comes and say, you know, I have 3 years of goal. I want to come in, I want to cash out in 3 years. I have because VC's loyalty is not to Musaffa. I can guarantee that their loyalty will be their limited partners, number one. So in our case, what if they come and say, I don't want to invest in Musaffa Academy because you're going to get the return after 5 years. I'm just saying. So these are the conditions, but we will get the VC money when we have the public support and we will be able to negotiate the terms in a manner that it doesn't compromise our vision, mission, and our growth path. So these are very important strategic reasons, and Alhamdulillah, that's one of the reasons. But as I said, the public is there. They're coming. We had more than 11,000 people showed up. From the look of it, they can say, "Oh, you know what? It's not filling up." My question, brother Majid. My question to you, why didn't you invest? You look at that and said, oh, this 4 million, they're still far away. Almost everybody thinking like you. That's a problem. But that gives opportunity. That's why we have webinars. That's why we reach out to you. That's why we call you. We get on a Zoom call. We explain it. That's why it's moving. But it doesn't mean demand is amazing, alhamdulillah. But the closing is taking time, but it's very scalable. Last year, when we did crowdfunding, whatever we raised last year, we raised in about 3 months this year. So 4 times, 5 times is better raise. But next time it's even gonna be better. And we're also getting more experience because we were not pros at this. We did it because you know what? Naturally, we just let's go talk to our community. That's it. That was simple. I did never have in my experience as CEO in my previous jobs. I never raised funds. I never had to go talk to people, like but we are doing it because now you know what we learn from it, and every time we learn, it's gonna get better. Again, brother Majid, the number one reason, one of the reasons, just the fact that you asked the question is your answer right there. You did not invest because you're looking at, oh, it's 4 million, they didn't get there. Everybody thinks like that. When it's gonna get there, right? So it takes some time to reach out, educate, and alhamdulillah, people are the best part of it. Once we teach them and we explain the business model vision, we have reinvested 4 times already. Some of them 3 times, 4 times reinvest. Same people keep coming investing every round because they say, you know what, I love where the company is going. I can see the products. We just released our app. It was old, but now it's like high tech, like fintechy. It looks very nice. Looks like any Western country app, but it has a halal features and everything, and it's completely revamped. And they can see that the money is being utilized, so they can see in there. And the best part of it, that most of our investors are our app users, so they were very good thing. But anyway, I know I got really every time, we do 10 times a webinar. I'm like brand new guy every time, right, Rinat?
Yes, alhamdulillah, with the passion and with that much of detail. Very quickly, people are asking, and we answered last time, trying to do as quick answers to all these questions. People are asking if the funding window is a time closed, and then has there 4 million reached or not? Just to inform you, everyone, because we have a short period of time, today a little bit, and then tomorrow, so a little bit more than 24 hours. Some people are saying, I've just saw this opportunity. This wonderful opportunity, but to feel safe, I want to do a little bit of research, right? So we don't want to remove you from the research, but there's a one good thing about this crowdfunding and then how we work with the brokerage. So we close that day, which is midnight of tomorrow. That closes signing new agreements, subscription agreements. So subscription for your investment, right? That's why it's called subscription agreement. You're subscribing to invest into the company. And that agreement, if you sign until you fund the funds, then it only becomes binding. Until that, it doesn't mean if you sign the agreement, you become like you have a binding agreement that you have to or you must invest, right? With investment, it doesn't work like that. You need to complete funding and then it's binding. So that's why if you have certain amount that you plan, sign the agreement, but will be a window of a few days or a week, something, not too long, of course, to complete that agreement with funding. So we understand that some people are very decided there. I want to go and invest. If those are, please go ahead and complete your investments and do it and support us. So actually the number is rising these last 2-3 days. amazing. It's a lot of support from our community. But those who are a little bit down for, or they have a questions that they need to check their boxes for investments, please go and then take a few of your time. But you can sign the agreement in the meantime, and then you can complete your funding within the next few days, right? So that's a small opportunity for everyone. If some people didn't know that there's such opportunity, right?
In short, in more like plain language, I would say if you want to invest but you're not sure, you want to do more research, but you want to invest this round at $2 a share, I would suggest go to right now. I'm gonna share the link. Again, go to investmusaffa.com right here. You don't need to waste time. So what you do, you go ahead and let's say you want to invest $10,000. You enter your $10,000, you go all the way. By the way, if you invest $10,000, there's no fee, but there's 2% fee because we pay that brokerage that we raise the funds 7.5% fee. So at least some of them we're trying to recoup because that goes against our raise. So, but if they invest 10,000 or more, they save another $200. On top of that, I didn't even mention it, very important mention that if you look at our platform, if you invest right now, we are giving bonus shares. Let's say that you come in right now, you want to invest $10,000. As you can see, if you, but the best part why investors keep coming back because we have loyalty to our existing customers. We appreciate so much their trust so that existing investors get 3% extra bonus. Let's say you invest this time, but you want to invest next time again, you get 3% bonus on top of whatever. So let's say you're not also premium user, they get 1% bonus shares. So if you're not this two, like let's say you're 10,000, that means you get right now, if you invest $10,000, you're gonna get 360 bonus shares. That's worth about $720, right? But if you're not existing user or premium user, you're still gonna get 60 bonus shares if you invest right now. So if you click on investmusaffa.com right now, invest halal now, you will need to fill out this form, first payment, investment amount, investor information. You enter everything. At the end, let's say that you do not enter your, for some reason, again, if you are sure, please go ahead and do it right now. Don't take a risk, risking. But let's say that you go ahead and you fill out the form, everything, and but there's you have to sign the agreement. Once you sign it, even if we close it tomorrow, we will honor that signed for another week or two. We will honor, which means you can do your research in the next 3 or 4 days and you can fund it. It's okay. But if you don't sign the agreement by midnight tomorrow, so that then that round is closed for you. So it's like a little bit loophole, but it's a good thing because as long as they sign, we tell as a company and a brokerage let us do that. They say we'll honor the agreement. Just transfer the funds, right? So that gives you extra time to do research. But most important, if you already believe that you're ready to make the investment, I would just go wasting time and I would just invest. Alhamdulillah. So I think that's important. Any questions? Let's say a couple of questions before we end the call.
Yeah, I think you answered almost every question as you were speaking.
Because most likely I'll know because I've been doing it so for a
Yeah,
while that I'll know what
Yeah,
questions
we've
most
done it
likely
so
they're
many
gonna ask.
times.
you're an
Yeah.
expert, you and brother-in-law both. So yeah, I'm looking through all of the questions and it seems like every single thing, mashallah, you answered. Let me see.
Brother Majid said, I message you privately. I love your vision and passion. Let's connect. Definitely, brother. Alhamdulillah. You know what? It gets emotional, even though we're not at the end, we get emotional because what we're building is bigger than ourselves. You know what? I want to end this with this couple things. First of all, I work with Wells Fargo Securities, right? I work, and that bank started by Wells and Fargo, two friends, 1850. That means it's been 175 years old bank. And let's look at the American Express started with the same people, Wells and Fargo. It's interesting. It's only 175. But how many Muslim companies out there? We don't even have a $1 billion company right now. Fintech, Islamic fintech, that's worth 1 billion. 1 billion is nothing when you have 2 billion population. And we're talking about that. Look at the cap value of Apple, $3 trillion, right? Nvidia, about $3 trillion, right? So we now have what it means. Who's gonna build the system for us? Who's gonna come and take care of us? If we don't do it, nobody will. Nobody cares about us. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And we know that, what's happening in the world right now. So we have to stand up and build ourselves, right? We have to. So, and after 175 years, inshallah, after we're all gone, this Musaffa should be here, not serving our generations. This is the legacy. I think this is bigger than anything. That's one when I said that I read a story. I want you guys read it. It's 10 minutes, but it's a powerful story. Again, why I had to meet with Warren Buffett. It's strong because, this humbleness I haven't seen. I was in Dubai. I've seen the sheikhs. I've seen that the people, I heard a story that one sheikh went to like a mall and he said, I'm going to invest, like, I'm going to spend like, let's see how many minutes it's gonna take to spend like $8 million. Took him like 5 minutes. He went and bought a watch for $8 million. This is not the way that we should live our lives. Allah gives that $8 million. You can build companies, you can move mountains. But if you look at the Buffett's, the reason I respected him, even though he's not Muslim, he said something strong, right? He got at the time he was worth $50 billion, and he's saying that, what, humble, one house. Some people say, oh, he's a frugal, but he's a smart person. And the best part after the speech, he said that all his money doesn't belong to him. It's society's. So it's gonna go back to society, build hospital, build schools. He says, I'm just a person who happened to get it and grow it and give it back. I don't need it. And then in front of my eyes, he got in a car, used car, and he drove it himself to restaurant with us. So that's the amazing part because this guy's a billionaire. It's not just that. When I was in University of Tennessee, I went to school. It's a Jim Haslam building. Jim Haslam is worth about $2-3 billion right now. He's an American guy. He's old man. He gave like 50 million to build a business school and was one of the best business schools in the world. So I went there. When I did it, he gave a speech. After speech, we talked. He went and talked to me. Guys worth about $2-3 billion. Extremely humble. When you see these people, you start thinking coming from a background like mine, Muslim country, right? These guys not Muslim, but they're living acting like a Muslim, right? So this is what I believe. At the end of the day, we're all gonna be gone. What kind of legacy we're gonna leave, right? So you might invest 5, 10, 20,000 right now, but imagine what that money gonna do. We're not asking for charity. It's a business. But at the same time, you can serve for the purpose. Why not? It doesn't have to be only for profit. You can also make a profit. You can also have the build something that, that helps your children, our children in the future. And we have to build it. This is bigger than company. This is I get really passionate while talking to it. And you know what? 530,000 almost people, they think we're right. 7,300 people give us a 4.8 rating. So we must be on the right direction, inshallah. So we just want you to come and support us. Again, Brother Majid, really appreciate that. If you text me, and actually feel free to text me as well. And also our investor relations is going to reach out to you guys if you don't mind. If you want to invest, please invest. If you don't want to invest, you need more time, they will there to help you all the way. I think they will call you. Please answer the phones in the next hour or two. And inshallah, I think that, we welcome you to our family, I would say. We'd love that. Okay?
Thanks, Ushtaka. We can wrap up. Brother Nat, do you have any final words?
No, I really want to thank to our community for all the questions, all the interesting discussions with us here, making it interesting, making it for us worthful that we are doing and working day and night here for all our community. And thank you for their support wholeheartedly. We're here to be with you folks and to support our community, to grow together with our community. And thank you for all your support all the time.
And before they go, please, Brother Majid, if you want to reach out to me or write quickly, drop a quick email to investor@musaffa.com also, that we have your contact so we can start talking. Anybody has any question, if they want to invest, very shortly, please. If you write, we'll contact you right away. Investor@musaffa.com. If you're ready, then you go, as I said, invest@musaffa.com without any question. But if you have a question and maybe you want to invest a larger amount, we had the case, one investor, like when we asked, like, okay, you want to invest, and then he put the $50,000. And I had a call, like 4 Zoom calls with the brother. And at the end, you know what he said was extremely powerful. He said that, if I invest, I'm going to invest larger amount. Because if I go to my financial advisor, that was like 2 years ago. If I go to my financial advisor, he's gonna say, don't invest because he does not understand our pain. And that's why he said, that's why I'm going to invest $500,000 on the spot. And in a week, he transferred the funds. So we have people who come in, alhamdulillah, again, supporting us. In that case, please, if you want to invest or if you have any questions, please write to investors@musaffa.com. We will answer right away. We have 6 people sitting and they'll respond to you. And then If you want, we can do another Zoom call with investor relations, and they can help you with any questions you have. Okay?
Great.
Well, thank you guys. It's 1 hour, but it lasted 1 hour, 24 minutes. And again, thank you so much for your time. We had some other questions. Please feel free to email, and we'll love to get back. As I said, we have another 11,000 people who need to reach out. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone.
Salam alaikum.